Westneat and Sherman, 1992, concluded that the evolution of parental behavior can be determined by parentage, which is defined as, quote, the proportion of juveniles in a brood that are offspring of potential caregivers, end quote. The study suggests that, quote, relatedness to current young does affect optimal level of parental effort, end quote. The evolution of parental behavior has occurred over time coupled with kin recognition abilities. The behavior of the parent will evolve depending on their ability to recognize their own kin, discriminate those that are not, as well as how often they breed and establish importance of the brood and individuals in them. This female mallard is clearly very protective of her kin, since even though the male mallard does not display any direct threatening behavior toward her or her offspring, she still feels the need to display dominance and aggression. I would hypothesize that the female mallard is very confident in knowing her kin are indeed related to her and in her investment in both their fitness. Robinson and Smotherman, 1991, suggest that kin recognition occurs both prenatal and postnatal. This is a result of various amounts of stimuli such as somatosensory, visual, acoustic, chemical, and more. These stimuli contribute to the increased probability of kin recognition, which will help evolve parental behavior. I hypothesize that these stimuli have created a strong sense of relatedness that have influenced the parental care of the female mallard and her investment in her kin. Along with the one mother mallard and her 4 offspring that are bathing in the water, there is a presence of 4 other male mallards on land. One of the 4 male mallards on land decides to approach the water near the mother and her offspring. As the male mallard approaches closer to the female mother mallard, she begins to display agonistic behavior, which is threatening by the act of charging. Upon the approach by the male mallard, the female mallard becomes frightened, nervous, and angry. In response to the processing of these emotions by the central nervous system, the female responds by charging the male mallard when he approaches too close. Intense displays of agonistic behavior in snow geese is suggested by Gregory and Anke, 1990, to occur more frequently in parents due to higher hormone levels. I hypothesize that the hormones released due to the female mallard being in a state of fear drove her to react and behave the way she did. During this charging behavior, the female mallard lowers her head, sticks her neck out, and darts extremely fast in the direction of the male. I hypothesize that this agonistic behavior's purpose was to threaten the male mallard. This behavior was induced by fear and acted out in concern for her young. By performing such behavior, the female duck aims to minimize the cost of risk of harm to her young, as well as their bathing and feeding territory. The female mallard seems to be highly invested in the success of her young, wanting to provide them with sufficient nutrients to survive, which would then increase offspring fitness and benefit both the parent and her offspring. Gregory and Anke, 1990, support this in stating that, quote, parent geese may be more aggressive to enhance the survival and competitive ability of their offspring, end quote. Scott, 1951, describes the development of agonistic behavior in mice being due to competition over food. The agonistic behavior displayed by the female mallard could then be hypothesized to arise when in competition over food, especially with the presence of young. As previously mentioned, parents tend to display more aggressive behavior. With this being said, I would hypothesize that the development of the behavior would increase with the presence of young. Gregory and Anke, 1990, state that there was a positive correlation between family size, initiation, and success of agonistic behavior in snow geese. This observation could attest to the increasing development of the agonistic behavior in female mallards as their family size grows, as well as the likelihood of initiating conflict.